From fear to triumph, the spider's inspiration. Once upon a time, in a distant kingdom, there lived a mighty king named Arthur. He was renowned for his valor and strategic brilliance on the battlefield. He fearlessly led his soldiers into battle, risking his own life for the sake of his kingdom. He possessed a steadfast resolve and an unwavering determination to protect his people from any threat. Arthur was not only a fearless warrior, but also a brilliant strategist. He possessed a keen tactical mind, able to analyze complex situations and devise effective battle plans. His ability to outmaneuver his opponents and exploit their weaknesses was one of his greatest assets. King Arthur possessed a natural charisma and magnetism that inspired loyalty and devotion in his subjects. The kingdom had prospered under his rule, and his subjects held him in high regard. However, even the bravest hearts can sometimes be clouded by fear. One fateful day, King Arthur found himself in the midst of a ferocious battle against a formidable enemy. The clash of swords and the cries of soldiers echoed through the air, shrouding the battlefield in chaos. As the battle raged on, King Arthur's confidence wavered, and an overwhelming sense of dread gripped his heart. In a moment of weakness, overwhelmed by the chaos and the ever-growing casualties, King Arthur made a decision that would later haunt him. He turned his horse away from the battle, leaving his loyal soldiers, and fled to the safety of a nearby forest. Deep within the forest, he stumbled upon a hidden cave, where he sought refuge from his guilt and the horrors of war. Days turned into weeks, and King Arthur remained hidden in the cave, wrestling with his conscience. In his self-imposed exile, he had abandoned his duty, his men, and the very essence of what it meant to be a king. Shame gnawed at him, for he knew that he had let down his kingdom, his people, and himself. One day, as the king sat brooding in the dimly lit cave, his eyes were drawn to a tiny spider trying to climb up the rough wall. The creature would reach a certain height, only to slip and fall back to the ground. Undeterred by its failures, the spider would climb again, repeating the process with unwavering determination. Intrigued by the spider's persistence, King Arthur observed its relentless efforts. Each time it fell, the spider would pause momentarily, seemingly collecting its strength before resuming its ascent. The king found himself marveling at the creature's resilience and unwavering spirit. Hours turned into days, and still the spider continued its struggle. It encountered numerous obstacles along the way, but it refused to give up. The spider's tenacity ignited a spark within King Arthur's heart, rekindling the fire of his own determination. With newfound inspiration, the king emerged from the depths of the cave, filled with a renewed sense of purpose. He realized that he could not let fear and doubt dictate his actions. He had a duty to his kingdom, and it was time to honor that responsibility. King Arthur rallied his remaining soldiers, and with fervor blazing in their eyes, they returned to the battlefield. The king's presence injected new life into his weary troops, and they fought with a renewed vigor. The tides of the battle began to turn in their favor as the enemy faltered in the face of their united front. Drawing upon his strategic brilliance, King Arthur devised cunning tactics, outmaneuvering his opponents at every turn. His soldiers fought with unwavering loyalty and bravery, inspired by their king's return to the forefront of battle. Together, they pushed forward, reclaiming lost ground and turning the tide in their favor. As the sun set on the battlefield, the enemy forces crumbled before the might of King Arthur's army. Victory was theirs, snatched from the jaws of defeat. The triumphant king stood tall, his heart filled with pride and gratitude for the unwavering dedication of his soldiers. In the aftermath of the battle, King Arthur's reputation was restored. The kingdom hailed him as a hero, not only for his tactical brilliance, but also for his unwavering spirit in the face of adversity. From that day forward, King Arthur never forgot the lesson he learned from the tiny spider. He understood the power of persistence, determination, and the unwavering strength of the human spirit. And so, the kingdom thrived under King Arthur's wise rule, forever remembering the day when their valiant king had risen from the shadows of doubt and fear, inspired by the resilience of a tiny spider on a cave wall.